How's it? I'm Krista, and welcome to Diamond Cornerstone, classic YouTube rule: like, subscribe, share. What happens if no one shows up? It's the question. So the story is, we've got this new toll road. Well, it's not new. They built it around about 2008. It was all in preparation of the 2010 FIFA World Cup, connecting a city called Pretoria and a city called Johannesburg. So they built this marvelous highway, 5, 6 lanes, one way and 5, 6 lanes coming back. And then after the World Cup happened, they initiated fees. They put up these funky electronic sensors, and people started getting bills called an e-toll, and nobody paid. And everybody said, we didn't vote for the road, we didn't agree to the road. The road had to be maintained in any case. Government just basically thought this was going to be a smart way to get their money back, was to send e-tolls. And some people registered, but I think something like 95% of people just didn't. Users of this road. And guess what? It's been an absolute failure, because the highway is built and the contracts have been paid, and now the government wants their money back, and no one's pitched and failed. And we see it with small business. If there aren't feet, the business fails. And we see it with large business. If there's a new product on the market and it hasn't been marketed correctly, advertised correctly, the product fails. The stocks and the shares and the investment fails. So now the question is, how do we make a war fail? Easy. Don't pitch. How do we kill a big company? Don't use their products. I saw a meme yesterday with the bankers, and everybody else is fighting. And it's well known that the bankers and the economists have been funding wars from both sides, for the simple fact that if both sides are being funded, you can't lose, because everybody's buying the guns and the tanks and the bullets and the ration packs and the technology. And I'm the guy who says, why don't we just change the trajectory? So I found a YouTube video where the guy's actually discussing prophecy and ancient scripts, so to say, saying where the world is going to go. And he goes into, he mentions 1948, when Israel became a country again under the United Nations, and how the prophecies, but you got to go back to the ancient prophecy. When was it actually written? And it was written 3,000 years ago, which puts us back into an age of Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, the age of the empires. So with the energy available of the time, the prophecies would have reflected the age. But then how do you stop a war? No one pitches. We drop our fear and we talk. There's a line from a movie: as long as we are talking, we aren't fighting. And so let's just open conversation. Let's have dialogue. There are pink elephants in rooms. Let's just go and face the pink elephant. It's an imaginary something. In essence, everybody just wants to go home and have communion, have community, have fellowship with their families, their friends. There's enough space. If you don't like something, move. If you read if you listen to a lot of motivational speakers, when's a good time to start a business? Today. When's a new time to stop? Today. When is? It's today. It's now. So Currently, we think it's all random. The script was written thousands of years ago, just because of our unconscious, subconscious mind and our genetic programming. And I think it's all in genetics, in cellular memory. We have fear. Someone's coming out to get me. It's not necessary. We can change as individuals and as a collective. Our current thinking is linear, random, separate, competition, conflict. Imagine cyclical, integrated, systematic, cooperation, mutual service. We're moving into a new energy. We can decide what the energy of our time is. We are no longer in war. We're no longer in famine. We're no longer in empires. We've changed empires to corporations, and the corporations lobby our politicians, and our politicians enforce what the economists want on society, and society is paying the bill. The big thing is we went through this whole pandemic now, and people were pushing for medical countermeasures, and they were pushing it. But now suddenly, who's paying the inflation? Now, I'm just talking about the economics, the business, okay? Who's paying the inflation? Who's paying extra on fuel? Who's paying? Not the guy who made the decision. Believe me, a guy like Bill Gates, who was promoting medical countermeasures. He made decision, he lobbied. Politicians forced it on society. And we're being held accountable. The irony is, the Gates Foundation has enough money to pay the bill for their decision that they enforced on all of us. It's just numbers on a screen. So move the numbers, balance the books, balance the numbers. The man on the street doesn't need to pay. So guess what? How do we stop something like the Gates Foundation? We take away their funding. We don't buy Microsoft. That's incredibly difficult because most of our computers need an operating program. So it's either going to be Microsoft or Apple. But so it's absolutely idealistic what I'm saying. And I realize how difficult it is because I'm also a Microsoft user. I use Windows. The thing is, there's nothing wrong with using Windows, but the guy who made a decision must be held accountable. Not me, not you, the guy who forced or pushed his agenda, his script. So how's this? Why don't we just write our own story? Make it a quintessence, make it something beautiful, bring out the divine spark. We don't need to live in fear anymore. It's actually a nice Christian song. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. But aren't we all children of God? And when we realize that, that's when the abundance flows. That's when we start moving into the divine through the green diamond. And we raise our awareness, we raise our anticipation, we raise our abundance. And we raise our adaptability because life starts to move when we start working together. Cooperation, mutual service. And then there's flow of energy. Then we can overhaul the whole economic system because the economic system is designed for a single purpose, to keep us divided and the 1% cashing in on our energy. Maybe it's energy theft or energy exploitation, and we should call it. It isn't a pink elephant. The systems are designed to look after the king. Oh, enough said. We need 1,000 years of peace, and we can sidestep the wars. That's my belief. If we raise consciousness, energy, vibration, and frequency. Welcome to the Blue Diamond. Welcome to Divine. It's our new cornerstone for our new earth. Let's make it a diamond. You are the diamond. Aspire.